The layers on this cow's hoof are hiding an incredibly painful secret, and in this video, I'm going to remove them. This is the Hoof GP. Hoof trimmers like myself, right around the world, know exactly what's happening when they see a cow's hoof like this. These loose flaps of hoof horn allude to double soles, in effect complete flaps of hoof horn covering up an incredibly painful secret. And when I hold my knife up like this, you can see the overgrowth. The outer claw is where the problem is going to lie, and those loose cracks of hoof horn around our heel are going to link up with what we call a white line defect. It's my job to remove as much of that hoof horn as I possibly can without cutting into the corium. I need to get the weight away from this outer claw and onto the inner claw, and that is exactly what I intend to do over the next few minutes. I try to be as precise as I possibly can to get as flat and even a surface as possible.
Alright, all of these layers need to come off, and we need to model it out at the same time, so it's going to be a double whammy here really. We'll start by modelling out just like that. A little bit of bruising coming away there. We take this nice and wide. It's actually going to incorporate that little black bit, look. And then we're starting to see, if you look through the hoof horn, because it's translucent again, we can see that there's dirt underneath there. We'll just ignore that right now though, and move on to the medial claw. Swiping up. Oh, nice sharp knives as well. Make a difference. Now this looks kind of crappy and horrible. This doesn't actually matter. If we remove this hoof horn, all we're doing is lowering this heel, and that would put even more pressure on this outer claw, meaning that this would be carrying all of the weight and therefore would be painful up here, and this would be carrying less, obviously. Just get rid of that big scracky bit of horn. Okay, the problem. So we're going to just peel it back layer by layer. Quite a noisy shed we're in today. You can see this is a white line problem. This is the white line here. It's actually kind of greyish. It goes from here all the way down to the toe, and then it goes back up the axial wall and kind of disappears up in there. Right, next layer. Peel away these. I don't know how deep in this goes. It's a proper hole. Just try and get some of that to drain out. You can see how deep that is. Goes all the way through the white line and probably pops out where my finger is right now. Probably, it's just about to turn into definitely, I think. Oh, you're alright, you're alright. Does it keep going? I think it does. But you can see all the little cavities. I find this really interesting. You can see where it's eaten through different parts of the hoof horn, creating little caverns and chasms. Need to get rid of all of those caverns and chasms, though, as cool as they look, from an interesting point of view, not from a nicety point of view for the cow. Just need to pick and peel the little shards of hoof horn from around this. It's actually a wall ulcer in the white line. So it is a white line problem, but it's actually an ulcer. You can see that tiny little, just this tiny little ulcer here. So there's been too much pressure on this part of our wall, and this has burst through the corium as a result. No, it hasn't. It's burst through the hoof as a result. There's actually a hole that goes up into her foot right there at the tip of my finger, and that needs to come away as well. It's the ideal place for dirt and bacteria to collect and just keep moving through the foot, causing more and more of an issue. Right, let's see what's behind this translucent horn here. Gently cutting through it. Yeah, look at that.
Someone to save me, no, and don't come running to blame me.
If we put these feet side by side now, you can obviously see a huge difference. The knife has not changed size, but the foot definitely has.
And with that rather obvious statement, this brings us to an end. All we need to do is wrap her with a bit of magical paste and let her go.